It's time to cast some light on such southeastern states as Florida, Mississippi, Virginia, West Virginia, and Louisiana. Florida. Brochure images of tanning tourists and Mickey Mouse give an incomplete picture of Florida. Away from its resorts lie forests and rivers, deserted strands filled with wildlife, vibrant cities, and primeval swamps. The essential stop is cosmopolitan Half Latin Miami. The Florida Keys, a string of islands known for sports fishing, coral reef diving, Everglades, a waterlogged sawgrass plain filled with alligators, a symbol of the state, are also of great interest. Much of Florida's east coast is heavily built up. The residential stranglehold is loosened further north, where the Kennedy Space Center launches NASA shuttles. Further along, historical St. Augustine stands as the longest continuously occupied European settlement in the U.S. Orlando and Walt Disney World are main places of interest in Central Florida. Mississippi. Before the Civil War, when cotton was king and slavery remained unchallenged, Mississippi was a wealthy state. Since that war, it has consistently been the poorest, with its dependence on cotton price on the commodities market. Being the greatest bastion of segregation in the South, it witnessed some of the most notorious incidents of the civil rights era, from the lynching of Chicago teenager Emmett Till in 1955 to the murder of 3 activists during the Freedom Summer of 1964. The legalization of gambling in 1990s stimulated the economy with the casinos of Biloxi and Tunica. The Gulf Shoreline suffered from the Hurricane Katrina in 2005 and the BP oil spill in 2010. The largest city is the capital, Jackson, but historic rivers towns like Vicksburg and Natchez are more attractive for tourists. In the north, literary Oxford has a lively college scene. Elvis fans should visit Tupelo. Clarksdale is heaven for music fans. Virginia. Virginia's recorded history began at Jamestown, just off the Chesapeake Bay, with the establishment in 1607 of the first successful British colony in North America. Many of the wealthy Virginian planters had an enormous impact on the foundation of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, and James Madison among them. When the Civil War broke out, Virginia joined the Confederacy, providing the Confederate capital, Richmond, and its military leader, Robert E. Lee. 4 years later, Virginia was ruined. Richmond was largely destroyed. Today, it's a small city with some good museums. The bulk of the colonial sites are concentrated just east, in what is known as the Historic Triangle. Jamestown, the original colony, Williamsburg, the restored colonial capital, and Yorktown, site of the final battle of the Revolutionary War. West Virginia. Mostly rural, West Virginia is known for its timber and coal mining industries. Rightly called the Mountain State, it boasts the most extensive wilderness in the eastern U.S. For this reason, the state has become a popular destination for hikers. One more popular destination is the restored 1850s town of Harpers Ferry. To the west, the Allegheny Mountains stretch for over 150 miles, with West Virginia's oldest town, Louisburg, sitting at the southern foot, while the capital, Charleston, lies in the flat Ohio River Valley of the west. Arkansas. Historically, Arkansas belongs firmly to the South. It sided with the Confederacy during the Civil War, and its capital, Little Rock, was in 1957 one of the most notorious flashpoints in the struggle for civil rights. Geographically, however, it marks the beginning of the Great Plains. Arkansas remained sparsely populated until the late 1880s, before westward expansion was blocked by the existence of the Indian Territory. In the 1930s, Arkansas becomes the industrial base. Though Arkansas encompasses the Mississippi Delta in the east, oil-rich timberlands in the south, and the sweeping Ouachita Mountains in the west, the charismatic Ozark Mountains in the north are its most scenic asset. Louisiana. Associated with the pirates, voodoo, and Mardi Gras, Louisiana is undeniably special. Louisiana's spicy cuisine, festivals, and music draw from French-speaking Cajuns, descended from the Acadians, 18th century French-Canadian refugees, who live in the prairies and swamps in the southwest of the state, and the Creoles of Jazzy New Orleans. The French first settled Louisiana in 1682. In 1803, Napoleon struck a bargain with President Thomas Jefferson, known as the Louisiana Purchase. The port of New Orleans, in its key position near the mouth of the Mississippi River, became one of the nation's wealthiest cities. The Black Code, established in Louisiana in 1724, had given slaves rights unparalleled elsewhere. There was a significant number of free people of color. Louisiana was ravaged by the Civil War, but gradually the economy recovered, benefiting from the importance of the Mississippi, discovery of offshore oil in the 1950s, and tourism. Hurricane Katrina of 2005 and BP oil spill of 2010 crippled the region's economy again. Hope you enjoyed visiting the Southeast. The new destination is waiting for you.